This is your High Desert Sports Report, the Victor Valley's only weekly action highlights sports program, covering our area's schools, teams, athletes, and sporting events. Looking back in High Desert sports history, would Apple Valley's big plays on defense be enough for the Sun Devils to overcome stubborn Burroughs in this 2013 shootout? Silverado's Sam Taylor and Serrano's Austin Williams and Sultan Sullivan shine in Victor Valley College come from behind wins in 2016. Then 12-year-old Jason Andrews explains the transition from intermediates to restrictor plate racing at Wheel to Wheel in 2013. For the Apple Valley Sun Devils, it was one big play after another. But would these big plays be enough to defeat a stubborn Burroughs team? The home team, Sun Devils defense, got the team off to a thunderous start when Jacob Munoz scooped up a Burroughs fumble on the visitors' opening series, running it in from 40 yards out in the opening minute of play. But Burroughs would retaliate, scoring on a big play of their own, a 71-yard scoring pass, and Apple Valley found themselves trailing 7-6 in the early going. The first huge play on offense came following the first Burroughs score. Justin Connors unloads to Brandon MAPSTEAD, who outruns the Burroughs secondary to score on an 80-yard play.
A long scoring pass. I went out, ran my corner route. Offensive line executed the pass protection perfectly.
Apple Valley's huge play number 3 early in the third. It's second and long. Justin Connors fakes the pass, finds a seam, and goes full steam. 83 yards for the touchdown. Apple Valley back in front, 2014. Burroughs marches into the red zone, trailing by 6. But this series of defensive plays turns back the Burroughs and turns the tide in favor of Apple Valley. The Sun Devils defense does its job again on the final play of the third quarter. Justin Wagner's pass interception sets up the drive leading to the 4th Apple Valley touchdown of the night. Connors to MAPSTEAD in the corner of the end zone. Apple Valley 27, Burroughs 14. But Burroughs comes right back with a long sustained drive, making it a one-possession game once again, 27-21. On the Sun Devils' ensuing possession, the home team orange and black seem to put the game away when Tevin James gets outside and races 64 yards to score. Apple Valley 34, Burroughs 21. 6 minutes remain in the ball game. It will take big plays by Apple Valley defenders to turn back the Burroughs a final time. Number 40 is junior linebacker Brandon Knox. Then it's Tristan McNatt. After flattening the starting Burroughs quarterback on the previous play, McNatt smothers the backup signal caller. Apple Valley takes over on downs, runs out the clock, and emerges with the 34-21 triumph. The Victor Valley College Rams stand at 2-1 on the year following a second straight come-from-behind effort and victory against a lower-ranked opponent. Coach Dave Hoover's Rams fell behind at West Los Angeles before rallying to beat those Wildcats 47-30. First-year quarterback Sam Taylor, shown here in earlier home games, threw 2 more touchdown passes, and fellow freshmen and former prep stars from local schools played roles in the Rams' highest-scoring offensive performance of the still young season. Sultan Sullivan of Serrano All-CIF fame caught a touchdown pass. Former Barstow Aztec and 2015 Desert Sky League Most Valuable Player Brandon Pierce ran for 88 yards, averaging 7+ yards per carry. Brandon Pierce is the Rams' leading ball carrier 3 games in. Sam Taylor has completed 50% of his passes for 528 yards and 6 scoring passes. Freshman kicker Austin Williams is 6 for 8 in field goal attempts, bad snaps from center causing the misfires. Austin Williams is 10 for 10 in extra point attempts. The leading Rams tackler is Myvon Rawlings, 2. The defensive back out of Silverado averages 6 tackles a game. 12-year-old Little Jason Andrews, 3 to 4 seasons into racing. First year in restricted class.
What's the biggest difference now that you're up into restricted compared to racing before?
Well, one, you could go a whole lot faster through the corners, and it's just fun getting a little bit sideways almost every Saturday.
Jason's dad, a track champion in stock car racing. Note the number 26 and similar color scheme of the race cars.
You're driving 26. That's a number that's been handed down. How did you get interested in racing? How did you get started?
Well, when my dad was racing stock cars, I was always watching him, and one day I was like, "Dad, can I race?" He was like, "Are you sure?" I was like, "Yeah."
Little Jason also answers to Bones.
Well, where did you come up with the nickname Bones?
Well, I was a little kid when I was 3 when it started. My uncle started it. I honestly don't understand how.
Was it Uncle Kevin, the K-Dog, throwing his nephew the Bones nickname? No, turns out his Uncle Tommy once said to him, "What's up, J-Bones?" And a couple of days later, when his mom said, "Jason, come to Mommy," he looked at his dad and Mom, took the binky out of his mouth and said, No, call me Yay-Bones." He's answered to that ever since. He has also answered the call when it comes to racing. His first restricted class victory in the main in September. Sure not to be his last. The 2020 Championship Series at Wheel to Wheel returns the first Saturday in October. Valu Quality Truck Bodies presents these high-performance flashbacks to this date in high desert, Mojave River Valley sports history. Valu Quality Truck Bodies, supporting teams, schools, and athletes throughout the Victor Valley. Looking back in recent high desert sports history, spills and thrills, and 2 come from behind last lap victories in 2019 wheel-to-wheel racing. J-Max Denegal throws 4 scoring passes as Apple Valley runs its bell game win streak to 9.
What made the difference in the game tonight?
I think what made the difference was we're keeping our heads in the game and staying focused.
Just the hype we had.
I think our line and our defense really came together today.
Victor Valley takes the field 1-2 on the year, ranked 21 in the MAPSTEAD Division 9 poll. Apple Valley ranked 6th in Division 6, 3-0 coming in. J-Max Denegal to Tyron Smith, and it is 7-0 Sun Devils just under 7 minutes in. This sustained drive carries into the outset of the second quarter from the 6th Great American Rivalry Series MVP, Kenyatta Edwards Jr. with the second Sun Devils touchdown. Following recovery of an onside kick, Apple Valley scores again, a 4-minute penalty-infested drive that ends with J-Max Denegal to Jeremy Justice II, the play covering 41 yards. Kenyatta Edwards Jr. enters the end zone standing up. The 2-point conversion makes it 21-0 with just under 7 minutes remaining before halftime. This is the series capped by Ryan Webster's one-handed grab of the J-Max Denegal pass for Apple Valley touchdown 4 of 7 on the night. The play covers 30 yards. First TD reception this season for the 6'4", 250-pound Ryan Webster, who was diagnosed with a kidney disorder requiring a kidney transplant. Ryan Webster finishes out his high school athletic career but cannot accept football scholarships to continue participating in sports after graduation. Kenyatta Edwards Jr. scoring his second touchdown of the night, bowling over a final defender and carrying into the end zones. This is the only touchdown in the third quarter. 4th and goal at the 1. J-Max Denegal rolls out left this time. Jacob Soria with the catch in the end zone. For J-Max Denegal, 10 of 16 passes for 180 yards in his first bell game. Final touchdown of the night comes on the 25-yard run by junior Stephen Wright. The Sun Devils win a 9th consecutive bell game and now leads in bell game victories 36-15. Two wheel-to-wheel main events. One in come-from-behind last lap manner. Jaden Manchester eclipses Stevie Simpson in the intermediate main. KT100's Thomas Southern passes Lyle Bonham in the final lap. Two of the most exciting main events finishes this season at wheel-to-wheel. Stevie Rogers completes her comeback, winning the Restrictor Plate main. In this Restrictor Plate heat race, Steve Adams, White 85, is holding off Stevie Rogers until coming out of the straightaway, the 64-year-old rookie spins out in turn one and clips Ricky Simpson, who rolls and lands on his side. Intermediate heat race 8, Zate Legend, Ryan Shank, blue 8. The Bandit, Braden Miller-Bushy, blue 1. Outside row 2, yellow 18, Casper Wright, dark 2, Sean Rogers, black 11, Cole Brown, 66 is newcomer Michael Twining. We are keeping an eye on the white 16, Lydia Brown, Cole Brown's older sister. She works her way from the back of the pack and will finish second in this intermediates dash.
Well, start us off, Lydia. How did you get started off in racing?
It started when my dad was a kid. He was always interested in racing. And then it moved passed on to my brother, and then we came here, and then it looked fun, and I wanted to try it, so I did that.
This is the 12-car main, and it turns into one of the most exciting down-to-the-wire duels of the season between 23 season points leader Jaden Manchester and 28 Stevie Simpson. 51 is Mia Farrell, white 7 Blake Edsel, Cash Culp, white 22 Liam Coffey, orange trimmed 8 Zate Legend, blue 8 Ryan Shank II, 16 is Lydia Brown, 54 Junior Podsiad, 18 Casper Wright. 2 laps to go. Stevie Simpson has led Jaden Manchester throughout until the white flag signals 1 lap to go, and Jaden Manchester edges inside and in front of Stevie Simpson. Braden Miller-Bushy finishes 3rd, Cash Culp 4th, Liam Coffey 5th. Second consecutive main events victory for the 9-year-old veteran, Jaden Manchester, increasing his season points lead to 72, 4 points ahead of second place, Stevie Simpson. Restrictor Plate main, Jake Adams at the pole, Stevie Rogers, dark 3A outside him, Ricky Simpson behind her. 85 is Steve Adams, white 7, Trent Johnson. Stevie Rogers, who felt she had been in a slump, gets out in front and stays there.
I just went off a bit and I tried my hardest. I've been struggling a little bit, but I always had faith. And I just kept on going. I had a lot of fun today.
You didn't pace yourself. You bolted out of the gate and stayed out in front.
Yeah.
Cash Culp captures yet another win in the Dirt Carts Junior main. Heidi Jo Erickson, Culp breaks Blaine Coon's streak of dominance in the KT100 Seniors. Tom Langer is second. Blaine Coon third. Blaine Coon, bright yellow 23, remains ahead in season points 72 to 68. Heidi Jo Erickson Culp 4 back in second. Bid Fast and Last is expanding its Hesperia facilities to include a new DMV office open to the public. You can bid virtual live online on Bid Fast and Last auctions of estates, firearms, fine jewelry, coins, antiques, and vehicles. BidFastAndLast.com. Your High Desert Sports Report is brought to you by Down Home Grill in Victorville on the corner of Bear Valley Road and Ridgecrest Road. Bid Fast and Last, sold on supporting High Desert Sports. Midway Home Solutions in Victorville. Deagle & Don always has discount prices on appliances, mattresses, home furnishings, and electronics. Valu Quality Truck Body, family owned and operated since 1954. The Bradco Companies, supporting all of the teams and sports programs throughout the Mojave River Valley. Iwanzak Law Firm, trial lawyers for serious problems. And by the Community Table Restaurant in the Holiday Inn in Victorville, supporting High Desert teams, athletes, and sports programs. Looking back to headline makers on this date in 2015 in High Desert sports history, Victor Valley College wins their 15th in a row. Highlights from the Rams' victory over Southwestern. Silverado's Desert Sky League Defensive Player of the Year Alberto SAUCEDO stands out in the Hawks' non-league skirmish with the Hesperia Scorpions. The Victor Valley College Rams shut down mighty Southwestern 34-14 for their 4th victory of 2015 and 15th consecutive win for the program. Victor Valley College enters the game ranked 17th in the state, Southwestern ranked 18th. The Rams score twice in the first 4 minutes and really never look back, as Coach Dave Hoover's defense proves once again dominant. On an absolutely beautiful day, though 95 degrees throughout, this final Saturday of September, quarterback Sam Allen passes for a pair of touchdowns, one to Desmond Johnson, who also returns a punt for a touchdown.
What was the offensive game plan going in, Sam?
It was nothing complicated. It was pretty simple. Just take what they give us and make the most of it, make catch and play catch, and that was pretty much it.
The Rams set up on their own 39. Second and 9, Sam Allen scrambles, eludes the first Jaguars tackler, and carries for a first down. From the Southwestern 48, left tackle Andrew Regan's lead block. Aaron Parker brushes off one tackler and barrels down to the 36, gain of 12. Here is what makes the freshman quarterback so very dangerous and effective, a bona fide dual threat, scrambling here for a gain of 28 yards. Sam Allen is the Rams' leading ground gainer on the season 4 games in. From the 10, Sam Allen to sophomore Tyler Hatch, the opening drive 61 yards in 6 plays. 3 minutes and 45 seconds in, 7-0 Rams. Desmond Johnson fields the Jaguars' punt at the 34. The freshman from Florida's South Mineola breaks it up, then out to his right, and bolts past Southwestern defenders for the 66-yard punt return for a touchdown. 9:50 on the Griner scoreboard, first period clock, 14-0 Victor Valley College. Watch for 91, defensive lineman Dennis Wynn, whose slicing tackle creates a fumble, though the Jaguars fall on the ball. The 240-pound Dennis Wynn is a sophomore out of Hesperia High School. Returning unanimous all-conference outside linebacker D. Bowler, 2, strips the pass receiver of the ball. Again, the Jaguars recover their own fumble. This third down play, typical. The Rams deny the Jaguars on 12 of 16 third down conversion attempts on the day. The Rams' top defender is returning unanimous all-conference defensive end Douglason Suttle, 90. Pound for pound, quite possibly the best defensive lineman in all community college football. 6'4", 250 pounds, out of Palm Coast in Florida. Suttle gets 3 sacks this day, giving him 7.5 sacks for the season, second highest in the state. Sam Allen to Desmond Johnson. Rams touchdown on the play from 16 yards out. Second touchdown of the day for the freshman from Florida's Lake Mineola. First touchdown reception of his Rams career. 74, Kyle Smith takes his man out. Aaron Parker upends the defensive tackle, and Tajon Allen bursts through the gaping hole. There's no catching the sophomore out of Bishop Gorman in Las Vegas. Tajon Allen outruns the Jaguars, racing 80 yards into the end zone. First play of the 4th quarter. Sam Allen puts this one just out of reach of the Jaguars' defender, perfectly placed for Dakota Prussia, who goes untouched for the 53-yard scoring play. The final score, Victor Valley College 34, Southwestern 14. The Hesperia Scorpions host Silverado in the final game for both schools before league play begins. The Silverado Hawks defense clamps down on Hesperia, defeating the Scorpions 47-14. Their defensive goal, clear, plain, and simple.
We just said the goal to contain the quarterback and shut down everything they throw at us.
Hawks senior quarterback Frank Fuentes leads the Hawks offensive attack, 3 touchdown passes, 2 to junior wide receiver Isaiah Genorio. Fuentes adds 1 rushing touchdown on the night. From their own 37, Frank Fuentes gets it to sophomore Latavion Staples, who races 63 yards for the second Silverado touchdown. For Fuentes this night, 17 of 23 for 255 yards. The Silverado defense takes over from here. Alberto, SAUCEDO and company will shut out the Scorpions through the second and third quarters. The second Hesperia touchdown comes on a 70-yard run against the second-team Silverado defense in the fourth quarter. Superlative individual effort by De Leon Flukas, keeping his balance and fighting his way into the end zone for the third Silverado touchdown. This run from 11 yards, Frank Fuentes fakes the pass, delayed handoff to Deontay Houston, 60 yards for the touchdown. Frank Fuentes will be named Daily Press Athlete of the Week for his performance in leading the Hawks to the 47-14 victory. Silverado moves to 3-2 on the season and climbs from 10th to 8th in the CIF Eastern Division poll. Oh, what a game! The Bell Game 2013. Bell Game number 45. And one of the most exciting, down to the last series, down to the wire, or perhaps up to the belfry, contests in the history of the crosstown rivalry between Victor Valley's Jackrabbits and the Apple Valley Sun Devils. Apple Valley's D'Angelo Guillory scored the winning touchdown with 4.5 minutes remaining in the ball game in the Sun Devils' 13-6 victory. But that touchdown, Guillory's second of the night, was far from the last big play of the game. Not even Guillory's last big play of the night. Apple Valley appeared to be about to put the game away when Tevin James pounced on the bad snap from center in Rabbit's punt formation. Apple Valley first down on the Victor Valley 10. But 3 plays later, another center of attention, this time Apple Valley's, the high snap recovered by the Jackrabbits, Joseph Video. And with 2 minutes remaining, Victor Valley in position to drive for a game-tying touchdown. Backing it up and setting the stage for the fourth quarter drama, the teams played to a scoreless tie the first half. Apple Valley's defense turned in 2 huge plays, at least they appeared to be at the time. Pass interceptions, the first by Jacob Munoz, the second, Justin Wagner. But on both occasions, the Jackrabbit defense, combined with a mistake-prone Sun Devils offense, kept the visitors from across the Narrows out of the end zone. Apple Valley came out roaring the second half. Joy Bingham, number 66, recovering the fumble on Victor Valley's first play from scrimmage in the third quarter. A 13-yard Justin Connors to Mason Kelly connection takes the ball to the 1. D'Angelo Guillory reaches the end zone, or at least reaches out and gets the football across the goal line, and the first points of the game are scored 90 seconds into the third. Victor Valley blocks the extra point attempt, and it's 6-0 Sun Devils. Apple Valley's next possession, a deep drive into the red zone, 4th and 1. Victor Valley's 320-pound Gabriel Razzo nearly bears all in coming up with the huge stop. That sets up a 94-yard scoring drive beginning late in the third. Victor Valley, on the first play of the fourth quarter, Daniel Walker rifles the 8-yard strike to Joseph Badillo, and the Rabbits are in position to take the lead. But their extra point kick is no good, and the score remains tied at 6. Apple Valley's game-deciding 80-yard drive. D'Angelo Guillory gets the call and crosses the goal on the play from a yard out. Sam Wallace's kick follows, and Apple Valley's lead is 7. 4:35 remains in the game. And now we are to the Jackrabbits' final drive. Victor Valley quarterback Daniel Walker to Jamal Tate. Walker to Tate, to Donald Mitchell into Sun Devils territory. It took this D'Angelo Guillory pass interception with under a minute remaining to finally put the game away. The final, Apple Valley 13, Victor Valley 6. The Victor Valley College Rams defense against the run is superb, but pass defense is not in VVC's home opener against Southwestern. The Victor Valley defense holds the visitors to a sparse 70 yards rushing, and special teams play often spectacular. But the offense does not overcome a Southwestern barrage of 7 scoring passes in the 41-17 setback. Logan Graham comes gunning for the quarterback sack. It's 3 and out on their first possession. Logan Graham, 6'1", 260-pound freshman from Gunnersville, Alabama. VVC's first snap from center, precursor to a major problem throughout the game. The snap mishandled, turning the ball over to Southwestern. Inside the 5. The defense again serves notice. No ground to be gained running against the Rams. 4 is leading tackler coming in, Christian Lee, 6'2", 195-pound, second-year Ram out of Apple Valley. Learning they can't run against the Rams, Southwestern goes to the pass and scores the game's first touchdown. The blocked extra point attempt as outstanding defensive plays for the Rams are repeated throughout the night. 6-0 Southwestern. David Blocker returns the kickoff to the 29, 12-yard return for the former Apple Valley Sun Devil. Overall, special teams play very good for the Rams all day. The Victor Valley College Rams' most dangerous weapon offensively, pass catcher Devicius Wilson, 6'5", freshman from Bothell, Washington. The Rams score on this 82-yard bomb. Devicius Wilson grabs it at his 40, cuts back, cuts the ankles off 2 defenders at midfield, and outruns the rest of the Santa Ana secondary. Rams offensive highlights showcase players who graduated from local high schools. Mike O'Bonham, the receiver, playing on the turf of his former Silverado Hawks. 2 receptions this game for the sophomore Mike O'Bonham, who was an all-conference receiver for Victor Valley College in his first season with the Rams. The ball carrier, 21, is Tayshawn Brown, all Desert Sky League running back a year ago at Granite Hills High School. The 5'9", 225-pound freshman is the Rams' workhorse this game, leading the team in carries with 10. Every Santa Ana pass completion was not a disaster. Former Oak Hills Bulldog Jayon Warren, 47, first to foil the screen pass, then Samuel Buckner, 7, smothering the receiver. Watch the lateral pursuit of the 6'6", 225-pound 2018 Oak Hills graduate Jayon Warren. The high snap picked up deep in his backfield by Julian Banks, who turns it into a 25-yard gain. The Rams are right back at Hawks Stadium on the Silverado campus the 3rd Saturday in September, hosting the Santa Ana Dons.
Your High Desert Sports Report is brought to you by Down Home Grill in Victorville on the corner of Bear Valley Road and Ridgecrest Road. Bid fast and last, sold on supporting High Desert Sports. Midway Home Solutions in Victorville. Deagle & Don always has discount prices on appliances, mattresses, home furnishings, and electronics. Valu Quality Truck Body. Family owned and operated since 1954. The Bradco Companies, supporting all of the teams and sports programs throughout the Mojave River Valley. Iwanzak Law Firm, trial lawyers for serious problems. and by the Community Table Restaurant in the Holiday Inn in Victorville, supporting High Desert teams, athletes, and sports programs. This is your High Desert Sports Report, the Victor Valley's only weekly action highlights sports program, covering our area's schools, teams, athletes, and sporting events.